and welcome to Startup Street. I'm Arundhati Ramnan, and with me as always is Shruti Mishra. These are the top headlines from the startup world. Ola Electric admits that it has received notices from the government seeking their response on discrepancies in its sales and registration data, says that 40% of the temporary backlog caused due to negotiations with vendors has been cleared. Sources say that the Road Transport Ministry has sent a second letter to Ola Electric seeking further clarifications.
Unicommerce has completed its acquisition of the remaining 57.24% stake in courier aggregation platform Shipway. The SaaS e-commerce platform acquired a 42.76% stake in Shipway on December 17 last year for a value of 68.4 crore rupees.
Early-stage venture capital firm All In Capital has launched its second fund with a target corpus of 200 crore rupees and plans to invest in 50 more businesses over the next 3 years, issuing initial checks of up to 5 crore rupees and providing follow-on investments to select high-performing startups.
IASO, an AI-driven speech therapy company, has raised $500,000 in a pre-seed funding round led by Malpani Ventures with participation from angel investors. With this funding, IASO will develop AI-powered digital therapeutics.
Perplexity AI is in talks to raise funds at an $18 billion valuation as the NVIDIA-backed startup looks to grow and capture soaring demand for its search tools. Reuters reported the company has discussed raising between $500 million and $1 billion in the round, the report added.
Those were the headlines. We've been tracking you from the startup world. Now, as China's BYD broke the internet with the unveiling of their 1MW charging technology for cars, India's Exponent Energy also took to X to showcase their technology prowess. In a tweet, the venture showcased its 1 megawatt rapid charging technology for buses and also announced plans to launch the world's first 1.5 megawatts rapid charging technology for EVs later this year. To elaborate on all of these plans, joining me now is Arun Vinayak, co-founder and CEO of Exponent Energy. Arun, congratulations. You're proving that India can build and own all layers of EV tech. Take us through the significance of building India's first megawatt rapid charging technology. And you're actually doing this on standard off-the-shelf cells, raising the bar globally.
Hey, thank you so much. Thanks for having me here today. We think in India, we've really solved the vehicle problem to a huge extent and with EVs. We've been doing a great job on renewables. So we're solving for the grid, but everything in between seems to be unsolved, and that's something that we're focusing on. Energy in EVs is a two-sided problem. It's both batteries and charging. You got to get both right to ensure that you're able to charge fast. You have batteries that last long, and we think solving for energy is really what's holding back mass adoption for EVs. No one's questioning how good the vehicle is anymore. Really, questions are about charge time, battery life, where do I charge, where's the network? So that's our focus at Exponent. And I think 1 megawatt charging allows us to deploy buses along and trucks along the highways. And commercial vehicles consume 70% of energy in India. So if you really want to move the needle sustainably, and if you really want to go away from oil imports, we have to electrify commercial vehicles.
All right. Arun, like I mentioned earlier, you've also announced that Exponent Energy will be launching the world's first 1.5 megawatt rapid charging technology later this year. What markets will you address first, and how do you see this leap in technology changing the future of EV charging in India?
Yeah, so both the 1 megawatt and the 1.5 megawatt is really focused on long-haul intercity markets like buses and trucks, 20-tonner, 40-tonner trucks, and long-haul buses like the one you've seen in the video. As the battery sizes change between different categories, the power levels on the charger also needs to go up and down to ensure that the vehicle can still be charged in 15 minutes. So hence, we're launching the 1.5 megawatt for even longer distance buses, which need a larger battery.
All right. In August last year, Arun, Exponent partnered with Veer Vahan to introduce the rapid charging intercity bus, the Veer Mahasamrat EV. What is the kind of impact this collaboration has made so far?
Yeah, so last August was just the unveil. We didn't really have many people test the vehicle back then. In the last couple of months, it's been fun to have the vehicle on the road, get people to actually come see the vehicle charging. That's always fun to see how people start with disbelief and that this whole tech was built in India, and now they sort of quite excited to see that, hey, this whole thing's available right here. And yeah, we're looking to launch this commercially with customers in the second half of this year.
Okay. Within just 2 years, Arun, you've expanded to 5 new cities. Exponent Energy is already running 1,700 plus EVs and has completed over 3.5 lakh rapid charging sessions. What do you think has contributed to the rapid adoption, and what more do you plan to do to scale up this impact?
Oh, I think we're just getting started. I think 700 vehicles are very small compared to how many vehicles are on the road. So there's a lot to do both with new vehicle sales, installed vehicle sales, installed vehicles, and how do you sort of really quickly move this entire commercial vehicle base to electric. And I think we've done less than 0.1%. So today, I think what we've done is just a proof of concept. That we've got vehicles on the road for the last 2 years, proving the tech out, proving the life of this technology out, and the reliability of this technology. Now we've got a lot more OEM partnerships. So this year is probably going to be a big year for us with respect to more city expansions, launching a few new categories. And of course, OEM partnerships that will, of course, scale this.
What are these new categories that you're planning to launch?
Yeah, of course. Like I said, until now, we really did mostly three-wheeler cargo, these things that ran e-commerce, etc. Three-wheeler passengers, a large focus, large category. It's a 5x larger market. So that's something which is we did. And of course, like the bus that we're just talking about. So these are new categories.
Arun, you've spoken about the need for India to catch up with global leaders in cell material science for EVs. How do you plan to address this challenge, and are there any developments that you're excited about on this front?
Oh yeah, I think material science is still something we're so far behind in India, right? Across the range of materials, and cells fundamentally a material science problem. We don't even make regular cells in India today. So, forget about making advanced cell chemistry. So I think there's a lot to do to catch up there. Today, Exponent, what's unique about us is we use a regular cell and charge it up in 15 minutes. In some sense, because we're forced to do that, right? And it's cool, we figured it out. But at the same time, there was no access to better cell chemistry or better cell partners locally. And definitely China is leading the race here, and there's a lot for us to do to catch up here. Cell is not a technology problem. A startup like Exponent probably not be able to solve it. It's a large capex. It's a manufacturing problem. So the government, a whole bunch of large companies are already focusing on this. I think it's a matter of time we get there. Yeah.
All right, Arun, one final question before I let you go. With Tesla's anticipated entry into the Indian market, how do you think it will impact the local EV ecosystem? And what opportunities or challenges do you foresee for Exponent Energy in this evolving landscape?
Well, yeah, I think it's definitely going to set the bar higher for everyone to compete harder. Subsidies have already gone away. So, it's already pressure for OEMs and technology partners to think harder, create more value. And I think with companies like Tesla coming in, a huge fan, of course, of Tesla and the products they've built. But I think India's electrification journey lies in two-wheelers and commercial vehicles. It's not in passenger cars. It's not in premium luxury sedans, etc. Right? So, which is why we are very conscious that what commercial vehicles need in India is fundamentally different. The energy ecosystem and the energy solutions that commercial vehicles need very different from what a passenger car needs. Like you and I buy a car, we're going to park it at home, we're going to charge it at home, we can afford a large battery. Things are much simpler, much easier to electrify the passenger vehicle market. But like I said, if India needs to be self-reliant on energy, if we need to really solve for sustainability and solve for the environment, it's all about commercial vehicles. 70% of the oil is used there. So that's what we're focused on.
All right, Arun, on that note, I'll have to wrap up our conversation, but keep raising the bar. And thank you so much for joining us on Startup Street today.
Thank you so much. Absolute pleasure to be here.
And on What's Brewing today, Rangsons Aerospace, a Tier 1 partner to major global aviation and aerospace OEMs, has bagged 300 crore rupees from ValueQuest Investment Advisors. Based in Mysuru, the company provides satellite communication systems, airborne thermal management solutions, and fluid distribution systems to global aerospace companies. Joining me now to outline the firm's growth blueprint is Pawan Ranga, the MD of Rangsons Aerospace. Pawan, thank you so much for taking time out and being here with us on Startup Street. Before we get into the details of the fundraise, right, if you could sort of take us through the kind of solutions and products that you have on offer and sort of, put it in layman terms for us to understand.
Yeah, thank you. Pleasure to be here. Basically, when our Honorable Prime Minister told us that we have to be Atmanirbhar, self-reliant, I took it to heart. we set up a product development company, and I was wondering what we should develop for the Indian Ministry of Defense. Realized that a lot of the airborne cooling systems, actually close to 95% of it was imported. So we started developing airborne cooling. Basically, when you sit in an aircraft, passengers need to be at a comfortable temperature, but so do the electronics, so does the engine. So we provide the cooling systems and solutions for aircraft's airborne systems. And while we were developing that, we said, look, why don't we even do communications? And so we got into SATCOM solutions, very interesting satellite communications. Basically, on the commercial aviation side, you use SATCOM for internet, for any kind of communications. And then the fluid conveyance system was a very interesting one. It is a very unique space, very few players in the world. We had an Israeli company come in and propose this, that we set up this competence in India. And basically, if you strip open an aircraft or an engine, you only see tubes and ducts. So and we decided that we'll do that. And over the years, I'm very happy to say that we've become tier 1 to most of the global aerospace majors.
Right, absolutely. And you have a whole host of clients, both in India and around the world. If you could give us a sense of the kind of clients that you're catering to, and what do you think India needs, and what does India need to do to boost the domestic ecosystem for aerospace firms like yours?
Look, the first thing is, I think aerospace manufacturing is a very unique precision engineering thinking. So I think India needs to build a culture of getting things first time right, a culture of manufacturing very critical components, that have a lot of complexities. This culture will come only over time with practice and with more and more companies coming into this. Now, the opportunity is there. It's an opportune moment because a lot of the Western aerospace companies are really not finding the engineering talent required in the West. And they were historically looking at China, but now due to geopolitics, China is out. So India happens to be in a perfect position to leverage that opportunity. I think building this culture of core engineering-driven manufacturing will also help the domestic ecosystem, because historically we've done fairly simple manufacturing. So I think that is going to really benefit the Indian ecosystem as well.
Sure, absolutely. And you've raised this 300 crore rupees to expand your operational capacity, as well as look at new business areas, right? If you could take us through how you're going to spend these funds, and which are the companies that you're looking at for strategic acquisitions with the funds that you've raised? Is there anyone that you're in talks with? Give us a sense of what your plans are on that front.
Look, organically, we are experiencing significant growth on all three verticals to put things in place. This year, March end, we will probably end up with a 94% growth. Next year, we have a visibility for a 120% growth. So we need a lot of organic expansion. The money will go into both R&D as well as manufacturing and engineering team build-up and infrastructure. But, I believe that, this is a window of opportunity. Not too often will you be in a position where you can provide more and more solutions through a risk mitigated scale platform that you can establish for aerospace majors around the world. And we've done that. Now our customers are like, what else can you give me through this? You're able to give quality, you're able to absorb new technology. So give us more. And also, when I went to the US, when I look at the US and Europe, I see so many companies with core technologies not having a proper succession option. So we're taking these two opportunities, trying to bring different competencies together. So to give you an example, aircrafts need to reduce its weight. A lot of what we do now is metal manufacturing. We are now trying to see if we can do non-metal composites and composite critical detailed parts. Not even a single company today does that in India. And this can't be done organically. It's a very long gestation. So we said, let's go to the US, let's go to Europe, pick up a couple of companies through acquisitions. And that's the journey we're on. We are in talks with a couple of companies. Unfortunately, I've signed NDAs with them. But these are very interesting targets, having some core competence, core technologies that I think will benefit the Indian ecosystem as well significantly.
Absolutely. And if you could quickly tell us in 20 seconds, we're running out of time, take us through the revenue picture, how much you're currently clocking. You're saying you're looking at 95% growth by the end of this year. And which part of the business are you seeing the most demand for?
Actually, we're seeing demand across the board, both with the Indian Ministry of Defense and with the global aerospace guys. So the growth is very well balanced. We're going to be about a 250 crore company next year going into 25-26. But what's interesting is that we have over 1,500 crores of order book already with us. So we're very excited about the journey for going forward.
So strong order book there. All right. Pawan, thank you so much for taking time out and being here with us on Startup Street. And we wish you all the best on this journey going forward.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
On that note, it is time for us to head into a short break. But coming up, India's homegrown QSR brand, Wow Momo, enters the noodle segment with Wow Noodles. We put its founder on the hot seat to know how the company plans to shake up the instant noodle market. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. You're watching Startup Street. QSR brand Wow Momo expands its FMCG portfolio, enters the cup noodle segment with Wow Noodles. The company claims with its range of Desi Asian flavors, it is set to revolutionize the instant noodles market. Wow Noodles to be available across all quick commerce, online channels and stores across 200 plus towns and cities. The venture aims to hit an annual 100 crore rupee business within 24 months. And to tell us how, joining me now is Sagar Daryani, the group CEO and founder of Wow Momo. Also joining me is Arundhati. Sagar, welcome back to Startup Street. After the packaged Momo category, you've now ventured into cup noodles. What is the big impact you hope to make here? And how do you balance running these two arms of the FMCG business? How do they complement each other in terms of brand growth?
Thank you, Shruti, for having me. Long time. Basically, we've at Wow always believed in multi-channel, not omni-channel, right? So when people come to your restaurant, it's an occasion. When people order food in at home, it's an occasion. And also having your favorite food at home is an occasion. So I think very excited with this launch. I think it's a brand extension. I think, having your favorite food available everywhere across the shelf and giving the consumer the convenience, which is what we all thrive for, being a new age business. I think we are very excited. I think the frozen food business, the packaged food business has become a 5 crore monthly business. It's been a super success, super hit. Rather, we've also started exporting these momos. But what I'm really excited about is the Desi Asian flavor of kappa noodles. I think the idea is very simple. All your best sellers, how can you have it conveniently available for the consumer to have it as per their convenience, have it on the go? And like I said, the platforms are very similar. It is the same FMCG team, which is now focusing on modern trade and most importantly on quick commerce. And I think quick commerce for us is 52% of our revenue. So I think the focus is set. We are also there available on flights, on airlines. We are there in Akasa Air. We are there in Air India Express. So very soon entering SpiceJet. So very, very excited with this launch. I think it's a much needed brand extension. I think it just helps you to grow from all verticals of food. I think we stand for health, hygiene, happiness. So it's just bringing that happiness to the consumer.
Absolutely. Hi, Sagar. Arundhati here. Speaking of cup noodles, it's a very, very crowded market, right? So what are you doing on your end to sort of stay ahead of competition? How many flavors have you launched? And, sort of what makes you stand out?
So at Wow, I think we've always believed that, we want to create something, we want to be a category creator, whether it was momos, whether it was Desi Chinese. So I think the flavors are all new, a lot of innovation with the flavors. So we have khao sui. No one has done khao sui before. We have a thukpa. I mean, our veg and chicken thukpa are our best sellers at Wow Momo. We have a Chinese bhel, so the chatpata Desi Chinese gets its own bhel. So we've got around 5 flavors available in veg and non-veg to be topped up by Chinese. We've given a lot of focus to Korean because we feel the K-pop culture. We feel the TG, which is now eating onto us, the young TG. We catch them young and we want to grow with them. So the people who will help you to churn out revenue in the next 10, 15 years is what we are targeting. I think very excited because the kappa noodle market is a 14,000 crore market, out of which kappa noodles is only 400 crores. I mean, noodle market is 14,000 crores, but kappa noodles is 400 crores. So can we be the category creator? I mean, we all have grown up eating Maggi. You can't replace Maggi in India. We all are big fans of Maggi. But can you be the next best alternative to Maggi, giving the Desi Indian flavors, giving people what they want is what we are striving for.
All right. To being next to Maggi. Sagar, like you mentioned earlier, Wow Noodles is already available on major quick commerce platforms in over 10,000 stores, also in in-flight menus of airlines. How has this partnership with airlines impacted brand awareness? And if you could share some insights into how your omni-channel or multi-channel strategy has helped drive rapid growth and distribution.
So I think for us, the FMCG business has grown by 100% year on year. And I think even for the coming financial year, we plan to grow at 100%. So a 60 crore ARR business should become a 120 crore ARR business by the time we end the next financial year. I think what it does is that, we were not impatient. We had a blockbuster launch where we were completely ready with the product. We were ready with all channels of availability. I think when we launched frozen momos, I think FMCG was a new elephant in the room. We did not know a lot of nitty-gritties because QSR operates very differently, FMCG operates very differently. But we have a professional team in place, and I think the team chalked out, had learnings from what we did in frozen momos, and then when we were ready to launch the noodles, it was, wait, build a strong foundation, don't rush it up. But when we went all out with more than 1,000 locations. And the good thing is that, we're very conscious about the spends that we do on marketing. So our ROI, our throughput has been super high. And I think we're in the right buying cycle when we launched this product. And we're hoping that in a year's time, I mean, today when we launched the product, we were doing a 1 crore monthly revenue in the very first month. I think by next month we should touch 2 crore monthly revenue from just cup and noodles. So to get to a 8 crore monthly revenue, which is an aspirational number of 100 crore ARR business in 2 years' time, we feel it's very much doable. I think it's the agility and the nimble-footedness of QSR put together with the frugality of FMCG is what is helping us. I think it's definitely helping the brand to grow because I think people are now relating to WOW being a household name. People relate to it, being a brand to go for convenience, for comfort food. And very soon we'll be launching gluten-free momos.
Right, and if you could, Sagar, if you could quickly tell us, you're also looking at expanding internationally with Lulu Group in the Middle East, right? What has led to this and what's next for Wow Momo's international expansion plan? If you could quickly tell us in 20 seconds.
So, 20 seconds, okay. So we are now there across the GCC, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Qatar, Oman. I think for us, exports is going to be a big churning out mechanism for this business. We're now looking at Singapore, we're looking at Australia. So yes, exports will be very big for us. We're setting up a new plant in Taloja in Maharashtra, which will have capacity to produce 1 million momos a day only to cater to FMCG. So very excited with the path that we have. We've built the backend, we've built capacity. Now it's for us to put our heads down and execute.
All right, Sagar, on that note, we'll have to quickly wrap up our conversation, but wish you all the best with all your growth plans. And many thanks for joining us on Startup Street today.
Thank you so much.
And with that, it's curtains down on this edition of Startup Street. From Shruti and me, goodbye, and many thanks for watching. More news and updates continue right here on CNBC TV 18.